Hello, everybody. My name is Isaac HP, and this is the first episode of my podcast. We don't really know the name of it yet, probably like the Isaac HP podcast or something original like that. And yeah, we're going to be talking about stuff today, a lot of things. I'm just here to sort of ramble. I don't really know what to say. I'm kind of having a bit of a panic attack right now, to be fair. It's the most awkward thing I've ever done. This is more awkward than stand-up, you know. This is actually more awkward than stand-up. It's easier to talk to a crowd of people than to talk to absolutely nobody expecting, because you imagine people listening to you instead of having the direct sort of like back and forth with people in real life. When you're talking to yourself, you imagine people responding, and when you spend time on the internet, you see a lot of negative responses to everything you do. So when I'm doing this, everything I say right now, I'm analyzing it in so many ways. I'm like, oh my God, this type of internet person's going to think this about what I'm doing. This type of person's going to think about this. But the truth is I just have to sort of be myself, center myself, and just sort of talk. And then the next episode, I'll have a guest. And that's when the banter will happen. But it's really hard to sort of have banter with yourself. I try to, when I'm doing the washing up and stuff, that's when I try to have sort of I joke with myself, I like to do that kind of stuff, when I'm doing the washing up. I'll because I don't have a girlfriend or a partner, so I do this thing right now when I'm doing the washing up where I sort of it's really bad. I'll be like washing the dishes, and then I'll get one hand and then I'll like pinch my own bum, like what a partner would do. And then I turn around and no one's there. But I've been wanking a lot recently, and why am I saying it like that? Let's not talk about porn. Let's not talk about that the entire podcast. How about that? So we've got some questions that people are going to. I got some questions coming in, and we should talk about the questions. A bit of a Q&A, you know what I mean? Bit of a Q&A. Somebody said, how do I fix my relationship with my... Can you stop looking at me? So awkward. How do I fix my relationship with my father? Somebody said that. Someone called Eden L. Johns has said that. How do I fix it? I don't think you can. You could. But you have to think about what's the main thing that's causing the bad relationship with your dad. What's the main thing that you think he needs to change? Because a lot of the time it's the dad, because he's been around longer than you, unless you have been a prick. But if he's ran away, which is common, I'm a victim of that. So is my editor. If that is the case, then all you have to do is hope he comes back. And if he doesn't come back, then you're going to have to find your dad in another way. That's what you're going to have to do. Find your dad in other people, and not sexually. Because a lot of these people with daddy issues, that's where that comes from. They want that. They say daddy, daddy, daddy during sex and stuff like that. And that's not the best way to get over your dad running away, You got to find a mentor, find somebody, because we all need a good masculine hero in our life, We all need that. We all need like that masculine, because off the topic though, choking is so normal nowadays. I don't think I've ever dated someone who doesn't like being choked in bed. Everyone I've ever dated likes to be choked. Why is that? I think it's because of porn. I said we weren't going to talk about porn. I think it's because of porn. It's not even kinky anymore. It's just straight up. The first time you bang somebody, they ask to be choked. And I think historians will have the answer for it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is the lack of masculinity. What am I saying? What does that mean? I like being choked, I'm sure a lot. What? Let's go to the next question. Next question. Hi, Isaac. In my mid-20s, having an existential nightmare every single day of my life. Can you help? No. I always feel like I make jokes in every situation to cover up how I actually feel. Um, this is getting deep too quickly. This is getting very deep too quickly. I don't know what to say to that. Maybe get therapy. You shouldn't be asking me for that because I do that. I don't know. I feel like I'm actually quite upfront. When I was younger, I used to make jokes to cover up how I felt a lot. But now I don't really do that as much. Now I'm a little bit more more real with people, but that's mainly because of I think being self-employed helped with that. I think being in school or being in college or even in any sort of educational system where there's some sort of popularity hierarchy still going about, I think it's easier to play the funny person more because you're not in the real world, so you're kind of always in a defense mode when it comes to sort of popularity and stuff like that. So you're always sort of trying to be the popular person. So it's easier to just be the funny guy and just make always joke and never be serious. But luckily I entered the real world sort of straight after high school pretty much. I think over time I've matured. I used to be a bit edgy when I was younger. But yeah. I definitely think being self-employed compared to relying on a stable income or relying on money from education or being in education, relying on still being in that sort of like being hugged system for me, I feel like that helped me be a bit more upfront because I have to be because of I've got to make money, you know. I've got to be upfront with people now because I have to directly make money based on what I do. And when other people work for you as well, it's like, well, you know, maybe I'm less funny now. I don't know. But I know it comes from insecurity, you know, sometimes when you're always funny, when you're always trying to be funny, when you're always like, it does come from insecurity and just wanting to be liked too much. But that pushes a lot of people away because you're going to have, if you're trying to always be funny all the time, you're going to have moments where everyone likes you at a party or in a big social environment. You know, you meet up with your family and you're cracking all these jokes, but you're never going to get close to anybody properly if you don't let that go and you don't set this sort of straight point of who you are when you're not making jokes. I've always found it easier to be funny when I'm trying not to be funny, you know? It's always a bit, when you're really trying to be funny, sometimes you just flop. You know, Barack Obama is the funniest president that we've had, pretty much. Or that America's had, because I'm from the UK. But if you ever watch his speeches, he's always talking about some serious shit, you know. Some real serious stuff, but he always manages to crack some jokes in there to lighten the mood. And I think that's what comedy is anyway, is things that people touch on serious subjects and then they lighten the mood with a joke, you know, and it kind of makes it a bit more lighter for everybody else, you know. But I think all things I don't know, you ever like watched a film or you've seen a piece of art that is just like Banksy, for an example. He's a comedian, you know. Banksy makes some of the funniest pieces of art, but they're all about very serious subjects. They're all about hierarchy, war, class division, you know, poverty, and all that kind of stuff. But they're always very funny. They're always like a joke. It's like a punchline. They always have a punchline. All his pieces have some sort of like funny bit to it, you know. And I think that's what art does as well. It kind of looks at serious things from a certain angle and relieves that. People are trying to make a point about a subject, but they make it less serious. And I think that's what humor does. But you can definitely take humor too far where especially as a person in a social way, you can definitely take humor too far. Where you're always, I've met people and they're always trying to be the funny person. Where I can't even talk to them because I don't know who they are. You know, they're playing a character, and I used to be like that when I was younger, because that was just easier for me to survive because I was never a good fighter. Or anything like that, so it was easier for me to so you don't get bullied. You know what I mean? High school is hard. You're either the funny guy, or you're either the tough guy, you know, or you're just everyone below. And if you're everyone below, it's just you're fucked. You know, you're absolutely fucked. But yeah, let's get to another question. This is actually quite fun now. I feel like we got into the flow of this a bit more. Because I don't really want to edit anything out, you know. I don't want to edit none of this stuff out. How many hours a week would you say you spend working on TikTok and stand-up, etc.? Not quite a lot, I guess. Right now, quite a lot. Like, we have 4 days of filming and stuff. We'll do like 4 days a week where I hire somebody and then we work on stuff and we build on stuff and we write ideas. And we film with other creators, so we'll have like a creator for a day, or like we'll meet Jack Joseph or this other guy, Not Connor 18, and we'll film. It's like a full-time job, you know. Like it's not like I'm always working hard, like, you know, physically. So it doesn't feel like work because all the jobs that I had before were physical jobs. You know, I've worked in cafes, McDonald's. I've worked in Iceland. I've worked in a bleach factory. I've done a lot of jobs. So like I always feel like I'm not working, but I am, like, every day for the past year. I've done something to do every single day. I've pretty much done something to expand my social media job or something like that pretty much every single day, whether it's like, because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. But it's still very small. It's on a small scale basis right now compared to what other YouTubers do. So like, or other content creators or people that just make stuff in general. It's still very early in the works, you know. So we could be working harder, but I think hopefully this podcast will help elevate this a little bit more, you know. Because I don't know how many hours I actually work a week, but every single day it's my main focus. I feel like talking about TikTok as a job to people who don't do it as a job, and I talk about the views and stuff like that, and I talk about, this video that I posted yesterday got 1 million likes, and I'll say stuff like that. Some people that I talk to about it who aren't involved in social media in any way, just like maybe some friends or some family or something like that, I think it can often come off like I'm bragging about views, like I'm bragging about likes, because of their view of social media is not a job. Their view of social media is a public profile for people to message them and stuff like that. But when I'm talking about views and stuff like that, they think I'm bragging, like as in the same way as they got a lot of likes on their profile picture. But the thing is it's social media still looked down upon, but it's the same as TV or something like that, you know. Like I'm creating something that is being seen by a lot of people in the UK and America and Australia and Ireland. So you're being viewed by people, but people think when I'm talking about it, like, I'm like the other day, like, where I posted 4 videos on my second account, they all got 1 million views. I've never had that before. I just made like video after video after video, and they all did well, and people used the sound, and people really liked these videos, and some people be like, but I'm just talking about my job because I like my job. A lot of people don't like their job, so they don't like talking about it. You know, I know a lot of people that don't talk about their job. I never hear them talk about their job, and that's just life, you know. And some people, yeah, that's just life. Some people just will never like their job, and it's a shame. I mean, I'm not hating on that. It's a system that people are put into, unfortunately, and I'm in a privileged position. And it is sad that we live in a world where people live their whole lives not doing what they want to do. It's very sad. But yeah, it always comes off a bit braggy when I talk about TikTok. I don't know how long I've been talking about how it feels like I've been talking a lot about this now for like a few minutes. But I like it. I like every single day you get to make something new, and you get to. I think you realize the power of being creative is you get to just create. You get to create things that haven't been done before, and you get to see an organic response from it. And then you get to do that every single day. And sometimes I might catch myself being quite anxious about or burnt out. I'll be quite burnt out. But but then I'll go back to my hometown, or I'll speak to some family or something, or I'll go have a run, and then I'll realize how lucky I am to even be doing this at all. So it just makes me want to keep on going, because it's like it's such a once in a lifetime opportunity to even be alive in this time where you can do something like this. Because if I was born 100 years ago in the class that I would probably be born into, I wouldn't be doing this. No way. Like, no, I'm lucky as fuck, I'm lucky. It's easy to feel like you're not lucky, because of when you get to a position where you have followers and you're getting views and you're making stuff that people like, you end up becoming surrounded with other content creators that sometimes are doing better than you, or are always doing better than you. Let's put that with quote marks. So you forget that you're privileged because you're around people that have been in the game for 5 years and have millions of subscribers on YouTube, and you're talking to people, you're talking to agents that work with him and work with this person, and so you feel like you're not doing as well as you could be, but then on the grand scheme of things, you're like, oh shit, no, this is good, I'm doing well in my own way, because of I don't make stuff like how they make it. So I'm doing stuff that's original to me in my own way. So I've got to really push forward with that and really keep going with what I'm doing, because if I can only do this my way, you can only make what you make your way. And that's why a lot of people who jump on the content trends on TikTok just absolutely fall off, because they're not being original anymore. There are people that they had a voice once, and now what they do is they just look at a new trend that's happened and they do that trend instead of just literally meditating for a bit and working on certain videos constantly and coming up with a new fresh idea that ends up becoming a trend. People would rather do the trend and forget about their originality that made them in the first place. And that's really how people fall off, is because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They saw what other people were doing and copied it, but copied it so much that their soul was not anymore. It wasn't in the item that they created anymore. Just their soul was left. So the audience were like, well, this isn't you, and then you're gone. Then you're just, So it's important to be creative. Anyway, I think I'm just rambling a lot now. So let's just get another question in. This is mad. I haven't been this real for a while on social media. I think it's what I need, though. I just snotted on my nose there. Let's get how do I avoid painfully awkward situations? I don't think it's how you avoid them. It isn't about avoiding painfully awkward situations. It's about accepting that painfully awkward situations are going to happen to you no matter what. No matter what happens in your life. No matter how long you live. No matter how rich you are. You will always be faced with painfully awkward situations. So what you have to do is learn how to cope with the painful, awkward situation. Don't let it destroy you because something awkward happened. Instead, don't take it seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. Oh, you're walking down the street, you see someone that you're attracted to, and you accident, when you're walking down the street and they're going that way, and you go in the same way, and then you shuffle a bit. That's awkward. It's even more awkward when it's somebody you think is quite physically attractive as well. And if you're going to let that destroy you, that happened, one, you don't deserve to play the game of attraction, but also you need to just not let that get to you. Just go like, that happened. That's funny. That was awkward, but what's the worst that's going to happen? I didn't die. Awkward shit. Because then, like, it's a very young person thing, though, to be like awkward situation. It's quite a young person's game. Because once you have kids and, you're being shat on by little fucking babies all the time, and you got poo on your arm, and you're wiping a baby's arse, and then you got a bit of shit on your finger, and you don't even know it's on your finger. Then you go to make a sandwich, and then you see baby shit on your finger, and then you have to throw away the sandwich. Or maybe you eat the sandwich because you're that used to it now. But you go and wash your hands, and you wash the shit off your finger. What was I talking about? Yeah, once that happens, many times once you're a parent, you're not going to give a shit about some awkward thing that happens, some crazy awkward public moment. You've been shat on. You get shat on every day by your own blood, by your own fucking child. The only thing you brought into life, you have to wipe the shit. It cries. You're not going to care. So I think that's a good thing to think about, is when you are feeling awkward, and also when you feel like you don't know how to get over awkward situations. Think about how it could be a lot worse, and how worse things have happened. And that one day you could be a parent and you'll have to deal with this shit all the time. Like, you just have to get over it. You just pick up you can be in a public, but you could be a minute of silence. How about that? You're having a minute of silence for the troops, for the soldiers, for the fallen soldiers. And all of a sudden, your baby starts absolutely crying for no reason, bawling its absolute eyes out, crying. Your baby is just tearful. And then it starts shitting itself at the same time. And diarrhea, disgusting baby diarrhea, comes squirting out of the nappy. And it's on the pram. It's on the little pram. You're in a supermarket, and the minute of silence happening, now your baby's crying and shitting everywhere. What are you going to do? Throw the baby in the bin? No. You're going to pick the baby up. Well, you're not going to pick it up. You're going to make sure no shit's dripping on the floor first. Right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the baby outside and clean it up, or take it into the toilets and clean it up. And then you're going to be stoic. You're going to go out there. You're going to salute the troops. And then you're going to do your shopping and buy, sweet corn or something. So that's something that we should all be thinking about, I have awkward situations all the time. Every day of my life. Walking down the street, people... When I first started getting clout online, I started to have to deal with people in public coming up to me and people shouting at stuff at me. I get a lot of people shouting stuff from cars at me. Something I said online, they'd shout the quote at me in public. You'd have a lot of awkward things. A lot of awkward things would happen. And at first, I didn't know how to deal with it. I actually just never went outside because I didn't. Even though it's not like I'm some crazy Drake type of fame. I don't have like a Drake type of fame. I still have to go out every day and deal with that level of it. So I was like, well, what do I do? How do I deal with this? And the truth is you just let it disappear once it's not there anymore. Because somebody will come up to you. And I had it the other day. I was in a train station. A kid came up to me in the train station. And he wanted to take a photo. Fine. Hey, let's take a selfie. That's okay. Then he wanted to take a Be Real. his Be Real couldn't load on his phone. It didn't load for ages, and I was just standing there for like minutes, like holy shit, like. And I didn't. We weren't having a conversation. He was just staring at his phone. I was just standing there. I had a mate waiting for me, like, just up the road. And I was just like this, and then I just had to say to him, like, "Hey, sorry, I can't take it. Like, I just can't." But I felt so awkward because I wanted to. You know what I mean? I wanted to take the Be Real, but I was like, it's just taking too long. It felt awkward because I felt like he really wanted, but he already got a photo and everything. But another thing is girls coming up to you saying that you're fit or something in real life, and I don't know how to deal with that. It makes me feel weird. Girls coming up to you and saying that and I'm just like, I just go like, hey, cheers. I don't mind it sometimes. Obviously, if I'm on a night out, it always helps. But when you're in like a supermarket and you got other like old ladies walking about, like, it's kind of funny. That kind of stuff is kind of fun. I think I just find it funny now. I think that's what I'm trying to say. This whole awkward situation thing, feeling awkward. The best thing is to try and find humor in it because it's not a devastating thing. It's a very millennial or Gen Z problem. It's because we have lack of actual problems when it comes to, we don't have to fight in wars as much as we used to. And we don't have to do a lot of physical work anymore. So we're on our phones all the time, looking at what other people are doing and all this stuff. And then next thing you know, oh no, our biggest problem right now is what other people think of us and stuff like that. That's, the most technological country is Japan, right? Like one of the most technological countries. More people work in offices there than the whole world, right? Or something like that. Like loads of people work in offices in Japan. And they commute the daily work. No, physical work isn't much of a thing there, especially in the cities. If you're living in the cities, you're going to be doing computer work. And they have the highest suicide rate at the same time. If you have an awkward situation in Japan, people, they have a word for it. I don't know the word for it. Darcy, could you search up the word for people that are awkward in Japan and then they isolate themselves? Can you search up the word for that? But there's a word for it where they have an awkward situation with somebody and then they just completely isolate themselves for years in their room, just eating ramen noodles. It's called hikikomori. That's huh? Hikikomori. He's can you show it to me? Okay, it's called hikikomori. Hikikomori. Okay. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is that's the word for a type of thing that they only do in Japan, which is isolating based on social awkwardness. They isolate for years. Mostly men, They have an awkward situation. They're working in a shop. Say they're working in a shop at the cafe. They have their own cafe. They have their own shop. And then something bad happens in the shop they mess up somebody's order. They mess up somebody's transaction or something like that. And it's really bad. Because of shame, because they feel so much shame because of it's their job and their life. They'll isolate themselves for years alone, just eating, ramen noodles and, vending machine food that they have in Japan, or they'll just order takeaway for years. And it's quite sad because people don't know how to do. Obviously, that's a thing that comes with communism as well. It's quite a classic thing that comes with that because you feel so much shame for you're working not just for yourself and your own income. Like when we're working here in the UK or in America or in a lot of other Western countries, we're working for our own benefit and our family's benefit. We don't think about the country as much. But in Japan and in a lot of other countries around the world, you're not just working for yourself and your family. You have your country in mind as a service. You're doing a service to your country. So when you mess that up in any job, the amount of shame you feel because of that built-in anxiety, the amount of shame that you have, it can make you want to kill yourself. You know, it's quite sad. We live in quite a messed up world. You know, we do. We live in a very messed up world. You know, it's a big problem. Hello, I just want to interrupt this to bring a message from our sponsor, which is us. We are our sponsor. We have merch. Please buy the merch. It's Save the Orphans. At the end of the day, it's not that funny, is it, merch? You've probably seen the TikToks. We've decided to capitalize on it. Buy the merch. You see the merch, buy it. Buy. Advice on uni FOMO, please, Isaac. So this person didn't go to uni. I don't know. Do you need to go? Ask that to yourself. Do you need to go to uni? Do you need university? Do you think university is something for you? Do you care? Did you ever care about education? And also, what are your interests? What are your interests right now? What do you want to do? And it doesn't have to be for your whole life. What would you rather work on than go to uni? What career would you have that you feel like uni can't give you? And if you're experiencing FOMO because your friends have gone to uni, then I don't know what to do for that. I didn't go to uni. I never went. I got 3 C's and a merit. I failed maths. I failed English. I failed everything. I got like a C in RE, which is easy. I got a C in music. I got a merit in drama and a C in English language. But English literature, I failed that. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot, you know. I didn't go to university. I didn't go. But I knew I wanted to do comedy for a long time. From when I was like 16, I knew that I wanted to do it. And I did stand up when I was 16. And I continued doing the odd 5-minute spot here and there. And I knew that I wanted to be working in the comedy world somehow. And I never experienced FOMO because I didn't go to uni. I never had this fear of missing out of uni. I guess I did have a plan of going to study fine art in London. I thought I was going to do that, but that was only so I could get accommodation in London, so I could do the stand-up gigs in London because they have a good stand-up scene there. That was the only reason. But I never had a fear of missing out, a fear of other people enjoying themselves at uni, because I knew that I would be enjoying my own little life in those times that other people would be in uni. I knew that I wouldn't be sitting at home going like, oh, where are all my friends? Where are all my friends? I knew I wouldn't have that, you know? I knew that I'm going to be working on what I want to do, and uni can't give me that. University or no education can give me what I want. I have to get it myself. I have to make my own university of learning. And I'm still in that right now. I'm still learning new ways of creating things and new ways of entering the comedy world. And I still haven't nailed stand-up yet. You know, I'm not doing that enough. Not enough. I'm not doing it as much as I'd like to. But this whole fear of missing out when it comes to uni, what else are you missing out? Is it because you want to drink for 3 years? Because of, you know, a lot of people go to uni, they do a course they don't care about that much, but they just want that 3 years of leverage, that 3 years of I can take drugs, I can drink for 3 years and not do anything. But it's just that I can float about for 3 years and not really, and then you come out at the end of it with a kind of a qualification, but also, you know, you have a qualification for taking cat as well. But you can go out there and you can you finish a uni and you don't know what you're doing again. If you want that 20-year-old lifestyle, you can live it still. You know? You can live it. Don't have FOMO because of your friends are going to uni and you're not. I mean, what actually is university? I lived with a university student while I was making money from TikTok, self-employed. I was making money living with a uni student. And a lot of other uni students came to the house. It was like a uni house. We drank. Well, I didn't drink then, but we would eat takeaway all the time, big sessions, all this kind of stuff. You know, I lived the uni life without going to uni. without the education, without needing to do it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I was 20, 21. I'm now 22. And I guess I'm still drinking. I'm still having fun. I'm still going out on the weekends. I'm still, you know, meeting girls and having a good time. You know, I just need a man in my life now. But, you know, it's, yeah, you shouldn't be having that. You shouldn't be having that social, that sort of like anxiety about that. Because, you know, you're going to live your life if you don't go. You're going to adapt. You're going to figure out what you want to do. There's things that you want to do, you know. My friend has a massive forehead. What should he do with himself? Kill himself. He should kill himself. Having a massive forehead is the worst thing that could ever happen to a man. I have quite a small forehead. I don't hang out with people that have big foreheads. I just don't. If you have a big forehead, then stay away from me. I will beat the shit out of you. You don't deserve to be in my group. We have average size foreheads, everybody. And if you have a fringe covering it up, we do a forehead check before you enter the group. And if you've been hiding something in that fringe, guess what? We beat the shit out of you. And then we tell you to fuck off. We abandon you like elephants do in Animal Planet. You know, when the elephants abandon their baby. That's what we do. We abandon them in the streets. We push them out on the streets and we just watch the crackheads stab them. Because you don't deserve to have a big forehead. You don't deserve it. It's not something that we want. Because of, you got one person with a big forehead in the group. You're all going out clubbing. You all want to get lucky. You're going out. You're having a sexy time. You're drinking. And, your friend with the big forehead is with you all. And you realize, oh no, nobody wants to dance with us. Why is that? It's because your friend with the big forehead is amplifying all of your average foreheads. So now everybody in the group looks like they have a massive forehead, but really it's just Larry. Larry just has a big forehead. So what do we have to do? Beat him up, kick him out the group. All of a sudden, we're getting laid. So we need to think about that. We need to think about that. And I'm all for body positivity. Anything else, I'm fine with. I'm fine with anything else. I like pubes. I love pubes. I'd date a girl with armpit hair. I have. Many times. I don't care about that. I'm a feminist. I love equality on all genders. I want that. But if you have a big forehead, get the fuck out. You don't deserve to be with us. You should be in your own little bit. There should be clubs for people with big foreheads where they can all mingle. Because of, you know, I've got a good hairline. And it's never gonna recede. Because I eat fish oil tablets. Omega-3. Multivitamin. I eat innocent smoothies. I drink innocent smoothies. In my meal deal, prawn sandwiches. I have a prawn sandwich in my meal deal. That keeps your forehead small. It's not the best thing to have in your meal deal when you go to Tesco or the Co-op, but it keeps your forehead small. It does. Orange juice keeps your forehead small. But the people with the big foreheads, it's because they eat too much candy. It makes their forehead go big. They're not healthy, not a healthy diet. They eat gummy bears and Mawams, pinball Mawams. It's too much sugar, man. Makes your hair fall out. It's not good. It's not good for you at all, you know. Anyway, let's keep this rolling. Let's make this podcast 2 hours long. I don't know if you heard that. My editor was just like, fuck. Let's have a look at some other questions that people have got up. I'm sure there's some good ones in here, you know. Somebody says, someone liked me in years. I don't know how old this person is who's messaging us in. Someone liked me in year 7 and we're getting close now. And I like him, but... And this person, Lean. They're called Lean. This person, I like him, but was one word. I don't think he does. I don't know what this is. So I'm trying to get this someone liked you in year 7 and you're getting close now. You're getting close. And I like him. I don't know how old you. If you're in year 11 or if you're if you're in year 11 and this person liked you in year 7. Say you're both in the same year and you're bringing up that this person liked you in year 7. Or if you're out of school now, you're like 20. You're like 20 years old. So this person I'm talking to liked me in year 7, but now we're getting close. Now we're hitting it off. Now we're getting close. I just don't know if he likes me though. I just don't know. You shouldn't even year 7 is years ago. You're different atoms now. Even if you were different atoms. You're different atoms now. You should not even be thinking about if they liked you in year 7. Year 7 is a no man's land. That doesn't make sense anymore. Year 7 is the reshuffle. Shit gets a baseline in year 9, you know. Do you know what I mean? That's when shit levels out. Year 7 is when no one really knows each other. I remember being in year 7 and everyone was just fighting each other. Everyone was fighting each other all the time. I remember when I got older, when the new year 7s would come in at the start of the year, we'd wait outside the back gates and just watch the year 7s fight. Because it was all the clashes of the different schools and the different people and the different vibes, you know. They would all fight each other. I watched year 7 get a scooter thrown at his head. I fucking loved that shit. That was funny. I don't know if he got concussed or not, but that was entertainment for us, you know, because we remembered being there. We remembered when we were young and that was the shit going on. And I'm sure the next week that kid threw a scooter at somebody else's head. You know, when I say scooter, you know, the little pedal scooters, not electric scooters, but back in the day, you know, I had a little Blazer Pro scooter. You know, I used to ride that to school. But we also see all people getting like just throwing their scooters at each other and people just bashing heads on the floor. And that was it was entertainment. We used to watch it. We used to place bets. There was one kid, he used to fight every week. You know, he used to fight every single week. We used to place bets on him. Is he going to win? Is he going to lose? Is he going to die? I lost a lot of money. I thought he was going to die. He never died. Right now, he's the manager at B&Q. You know, he's doing well. He's doing well for himself. He doesn't fight anymore. He's calmed down. He got it all out when he's in year 7. You got to fight when you're in high school. Do you know what I mean? Fight when you're in high school, and even better, lose a fight when you're in high school. That's the best thing to do. Lose a fight when you're in high school, because if you don't lose a fight when you're in high school, you're now an adult trying to get that fight in that you wanted when you were younger, trying to get that, you know, that knockout that you never got. You wanted to win, but you never got that fight because you didn't get it out your system. So now you're going to clubs, starting on people, and you're just going to get beaten up by bouncers, or everyone's just going to think you're a cunt, and no one's going to want to hang out with you. You know, no girls are going to want to come up to you because you're too aggressive. Well, some girls like the aggressive guys, you know, but they're always a certain type, you know, always a certain type. You go to some nightclubs and it's, you know, you go to some clubs and it's H&M girls, you know. H&M girls and H&M boys. They all look like they just walked out of H&M. And they love listening to Drake. I like Drake, but they like listening to, you know, the top 5 Drake songs. And they just have that on shuffle, you know. They don't like going into deep Drake, you know, when Drake is feeling sad, you know. You know those like really good Drake songs where he's like really sad and like getting deep with it, you know, going through heartbreak. You never thought a guy like Drake could go through heartbreak. He's such a boss. But he feels, man. He has songs about getting rejected. This is Drake. Drake has songs about feeling like he's not loved enough by a girl. And this is Drake. This is the OVO. This is Mrs. Big Drake. No, that's Soulja Boy. This is Drake. Drake's a good guy. It's sad, man. It's sad that Drake is out there getting rejected by bitches. And I'm out here getting laid. I'm out here plowing. I'm getting my dick sucked. I'm out here getting my dick tugged. Just a quick tug. Someone's just having a quick tug on my dick. And Drake is out there crying because he can't get a girl. He's making full-on songs, full-on bangers about how he can't get no pum-pum. And I'm here getting pum pum. Do you know how that makes me feel? It makes me feel good. Because I bet Drake looks down on TikTok a little bit. He might do. He might look down on a guy like me. Drake might have seen some of my videos. He might have seen some of my videos and he might go, that guy Isaac, I'd fuck his bitch. Well, guess what? No, because I'm gonna be fucking your bitches soon, Drake. I actually will. I think that's my goal. That's my goal in life, is to fuck somebody who's had sex with Drake. Maybe it'll make me good at music. You know, if I have sex with a girl and she's go, by the way, I had sex with Drake, I'll be like, can I hit it raw? Can I put my raw balls in your fucking mouth, please? Can I put my raw balls in your vag? Because I want to get some of that Drake juice, you know. Get some of that Drakey juice. Because that shit will make me fly. That shit will make me just a Superman. A superhero. You know? That's what we all need. Because he works hard, Drake. He works hard. He's a hard worker, you know. He's always releasing something. He's always working hard. He's always moving to the next step. Him and Kanye and Travis Scott, you know, J. Cole, Cardi B, Rihanna, Frank Ocean, Beyonce. Hard workers. They're all hard workers, you know. Right. Someone said, why your forehead so big? It isn't big. Quick, I'm just scrolling to try and find some good. When do you think this whole TikTok character you've created will die and turn into something? Maybe they mean turn into something else. I guess it has. In this podcast, I guess. Yeah. Mental. You know, TikTok's very one-dimensional, but it's already, I mean, I've already released stand-up clips before that have done well on TikTok that don't have my character in play. So I've already actually done that. So I don't know what, there's loads of videos of me like not being in character. TikTok's very one-dimensional, and the reason I put on the voice is mainly because of it's punchy. And if I talk like this, maybe it wouldn't do as well. I just gradually built this character without thinking. That's all it is. It's just funny. I just find it funny. I find the voice funny. I find the facial expressions funny. When he goes like this. I find that funny. And that's why I do it. You know, I'm going to go on my Instagram and have a look at some more questions and see if we can get some more inspiration to ramble. Yeah, let's see what's happening. Will I do a comedy show in London? Yes. What are your top 5 albums of all time? Okay. I can't. I'll say one that is definitely in the top 5 is Kids See Ghosts, Kanye West and Kid Cudi. You know, I like Kid Cudi a lot, but I think that album's great. That song Reborn, that has to be played at my funeral. That's the best song I've ever heard, I think. It's one of my favorite songs. How do you stop being a whore? That's a question coming in from a gal. How do I stop being a whore? I would recommend you don't stop being a whore and just let it phase out. It naturally will phase out if it does. If it doesn't, after 10 years, just accept the fact that that is your life and just deal with it. Just be a whore. Go out there, go to the pubs, go to the clubs and get chlamydia and ride on some dick. You know, that's what you've got to do because of, you know, we're all given things in life that we have to accept as identity. I genuinely believe right now in my life, I will never stop being a slut. I can't imagine myself settling down. I just can't. Maybe that's just what it is. I wasn't brought up in a stable family. I never saw stable relationships. Maybe I'm just a guy that just has to, you know, work and occasionally bang. Maybe that's just what it is. I don't think I'm ever going to settle down right now. I definitely don't think I want kids. I was thinking about getting a vasectomy literally yesterday. I was like, should I just get one? You can reverse it in 15 years. You know, I won't have to worry about wearing a condom. Well, I mean, you can still get STIs, but you know what I mean. I don't want that stress of having a kid. I don't want one. Maybe when I'm older. Things are too unstable right now, you know? It's like I'm making more money than I ever have, but it's not stable money. It's not like I'm getting some crazy deal in that's like going to set me straight and I can put a deposit down on a house. It's nothing like that, you know? It's like more money than I made, but it's not KSI money, you know? Or established money. Let's just say that. Money that is is very like I'm extremely comfortable. So if I do have kids, you know, I want to be in a place where I have money. You know, I don't want to be one of those accidental dads. So I was thinking about getting a vasectomy. I don't know how much that hurts though. If you go there and they cut you up, what do? They like twist the tube? I mean, do they go inside your balls? Do they like chop up your balls, your ball sack? Do they like cut it, snip your ball sack and go in and tie the tube? How do they tie the tube? How do they do that? How the hell do you tie the tube? I want to see this tube. Do they do it with bunny ears like a shoelace? Can I accidentally untie it if I sit wrong? I want to know. Because I'm not ready to be a dad. I don't think a lot of people are ready to be a dad nowadays because of the world has changed. Back in the day, you didn't know how long you had left to live. And there was lack of protection, contraception. So we got used to being dads at 20. People would just be dads at 20. But you were you had more stability back in those days, it feels like. You worked on a farm. You had a house. It was easier to own a house if you worked a job. So you had a more comfortable reality when it comes to owning things. Things were like a little bit more stable, I guess. Of course, people did lose their things and become poor, and they did find it hard to raise a family. But I think things were simpler back in those days. So having a kid young was normal. You'd get married young, you'd have a kid young, because life was too short to waste it. Also, people were homophobic. So if you didn't have a kid at a certain age, you were gay. Like, what the fuck, bro? You're like 15, you don't have like 2 kids. You gay? You gay or something? You don't have 2 kids? Well, what's going on? That's what they would say. But now we've moved past that, and we can actually we can wait a bit, you know. Now it's like people wait till they're 30. They wait until they have like a nice apartment and everything in the Argos catalog is like in their house. You know, they want like a trampoline before they've even conceived the child. They want that Argos trampoline. They want everything in the catalog in their house. They want a nice apartment in London that looks like the adverts, you know, so they can have their nice little modern family, their nice little like modern fucking thing, you know. But it doesn't. I don't think these people are happy. I think planning it maybe planning it too much is you're going to create a robot child. If you plan your kid too much, you're going to create you're going to create an NPC. All the wildest people ever made were by accident. And that's what I believe. Or they were test tube babies. Maybe. Nah, I disagree. If you're a test tube baby, you're an NPC. But the wildest people are accidental because they were born in an unstable setting. Usually, they were born in like, oh shit, I wasn't meant to be here. Fuck, my parents don't have enough money. Shit, what the fuck? Oh, I'm living this wild life. I didn't know I thought I was gonna be here in 10 years when they settled down, and now I'm here, and you know, my mum's still getting drunk every fucking day, and my dad is, you know, in the circus or something. Don't know where that came from, but it just creates wild people. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few more questions. How do I tell my brother he's not loved? I guess just tell him. Been left undelivered, what do I do? Come on. I've already explained that. If you've been left undelivered, what do? You don't reply. If you send a message to somebody that you like, okay, let me have a sip of my tea. If you send a message to somebody that you don't like, no, that you like, you send a message to somebody that you like, and they leave you undelivered, what do you do? Logically, what do? You don't message them. You don't. You put your phone down. You don't message them again. Do not. I've made that mistake before. You don't message again. Don't be a beg. This person is either busy or just doesn't want to talk to you. That's it. They're busy. They've decided they don't like you anymore. If it's on a sexual way, on an attractive way, they've decided they don't like you. Don't beg. You can't change somebody's mind. Once somebody is set on that, you can't change their mind. So don't try. Accept it. Be like, this is a part of life. Wow, big deal. Somebody didn't fucking reply to my message. Wow. Get a grip. There's more options, for fuck's sake. There's more people in the world for you to talk to than this person that doesn't even want any of your time. This person isn't replying to you for a reason. You know, they don't want you to fucking message them. They don't want to reply to you. And you have to accept that the character that you've built of them in your head isn't the character. Or stop panicking. They're just fucking busy. Not everybody is always on their fucking phone. Get a grip, okay? We live in a world where everybody is on their phone. Everybody is constantly texting. And we're getting so used to constant replies. But we're not used to sitting down by ourselves and reading a book. Or like looking at the fucking sky at night, you know? Looking at a view. Sitting down. I was back in my hometown. I stood in my back garden at night and I looked at the stars. You can't see the stars over here in Brighton, but back in Norfolk, you can see the stars. And I looked at the stars and I stood to myself. I thought to myself, I said, I haven't done this in a year. And I mean like, well, maybe I have. I have been on holiday and done all that walks and stuff, but I haven't done it in a while. I haven't looked at something for a while. And that's bad because I've been looking at my phone. I haven't been bored enough. I think that's what I was trying to say. I haven't been bored enough to just stand. Because the thing is, especially with my job, is TikTok, social media. I'm going to post a video or I want to make a video. What do? I make the video and then I go and scroll for ages because a TikTok is my job. So there's all these videos there. I'm scrolling for, oh shit, I've been scrolling for half an hour. You know, half an hour now I've been scrolling. And what does that do? It makes me not bored enough. Not bored enough to be creative. Creativity comes out of boredom when you're meditating, when you're in a state. Why do the best ideas happen when you're in the shower? Why do you come up with that film idea that you're never going to make when you're in the shower? Because of you have no distractions. You're in a habitual state. You're doing something that you've done a million times before, and you're standing there and you have nothing but your thoughts. You have nothing. You just think. You think when you're in the shower. We need to be doing that when we're not in the shower. We need to just sit down, have nothing. Maybe read a book, but have nothing. Just sit and look at what you are, where you are. Look around, because there's things that we're missing out on by looking at our phones, you know. Because of TikTok and social media give us constant stimulation, constant entertainment. It's constant. There's always something there that our brain is looking at and going like, you know, interested in, especially with TikTok. TikTok is mad for that. But, you know, it's too much excitement. And then your brain gets used to that excitement, that it would rather have the excitement on your screen than the excitement of your own brain. And your own brain is actually more exciting and has a better algorithm than any computer will ever be able to make. I've got something in my brain. I don't know what it is, but it's visual. My brain is visual. I have a visual brain. I think of scenes. I think of color schemes. I think of everything in my brain is visual. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what other people have is in their brain, but my brain is visual. I sit there and I can imagine. I listen to music and I have the music video in my head. Like I've made the music video, or I see colors, you know. My brain is more generative, has a better way of creating content than an iPhone does. If you sit down and you think of all those things that flash up in your head, all those weird things, those things that don't make sense before you're going to sleep when a dream is forming, you know. That's my brain creating content. Why are dreams so cool? Why are dreams so weird? I love a good dream. TikTok couldn't make a dream for me, you know. I mean, dreams are the best. I've said this before, but I had a dream once that I was Velma. I had a wet dream once that I was Velma from Scooby-Doo. You know, Velma, like I would think I was like Velma in the Scooby-Doo film. It wasn't cartoon based, but I was Velma from Scooby-Doo. And I was fingering myself on a bed. So I was a woman fingering myself on the bed. I was Velma fingering myself, fingering my nerdy pussy. And then Shaggy comes out of nowhere with his knob out. And just before he puts his knob in my vagina, just as Shaggy puts his knob in my vagina, I come. I squirt everywhere. I'm Velma. I'm just squirting everywhere. And then I wake up and there's cum all over my stomach, all over my belly, all in my belly hair. It's getting stuck in there now like glue, like Pritt stick. And I think to myself, wow, TikTok could not create this. It just could not create something as crazy as this. Pornhub couldn't either. Maybe it could. But what I'm trying to say is my brain is wild. And that was a wild thing that happened to me. Maybe if I watched too much TikTok, I wouldn't even dream that. Because my creativity would be so low, you know. I wouldn't have a good creative mind. I also had another dream the other day where it was actually kind of a boring dream. I don't know. I was doing press-ups in front of a girl that I liked. There was this girl that I fancy. There is this girl that I fancy, and I was doing press-ups in front of her to impress her. She wasn't having any of it. But I woke up really sad after that. I said, oh, Jesus Christ. It's not good. That was an anxious dream. Okay, a few more questions and I think we're going to go. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. How long have we been going for now? Like an hour? An hour and 5 minutes. How to cure loneliness. How to cure loneliness. If you're feeling lonely, okay. So if you're lonely, you have to figure out how to if you are surrounded by people and you feel lonely, you need more time by yourself. You need to be actually lonely because you're around all these people all the time. Maybe you're people pleasing a lot. You're playing a character to please these people and make them like you artificially, but you feel lonely. Do you know what you need to do? Cut out that external source. Cut out that distraction. Cut that out from your life. You don't need it. You don't need that in your life because it's artificial anyway. You need to be alone. You actually need to be alone. You feel lonely, but you need to be alone. You need to become friends with yourself. Otherwise, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. It will just keep happening. You're just going to keep feeling lonely. And then you're going to be confused. Can you be like, well, I'm around people all the time, but I'm lonely. I'm always around people. Well, you know, you're not around the right people. You're not around the right people for the right reasons. Or you're around the wrong people for the wrong reasons, you know. Whatever it is. So you need to get rid of them and meditate on your own. Or just spend time by yourself. Watch a film by yourself. Just watch a film by yourself. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't read a book by... A lot of people don't draw by themselves. It doesn't matter how good you... As a kid, we used to draw all the time. Every kid used to draw. Just draw something. Sit down, maybe play some music, and just doodle. You know? You'll like yourself a lot more after you do that. But yeah. Or if you are feeling lonely and you don't have anybody, that's a different type of loneliness. So you feel lonely and you also don't have any friends. Shit, what do you do? Good question. What you should probably do, I feel like I'm giving out way too much life advice that maybe it might flop in some people. But if you're lonely and you don't have any friends, and well, are you likable? Are you a likable person? Think to yourself, am I likable? Am I too needy as well? Am I too nice? Or something like that, you know? If you're lonely, if people reject you all the time, what can you do to stop that? One, you need to not be angry at it. Don't be angry. Don't when you're rejected by somebody, don't get angry. It was meant to happen. That will make it even worse. You're going to dig yourself into a bigger hole if you're angry over rejection. Or you get really angry. Some people get really angry, especially men when it comes to women. They'll get really angry. But what you need to do is you need to make friends. You lonely fucking stupid person. Make some friends. Go out there and make some friends. Go out and do something. First, do something by yourself that would require friends, I think. Do something that would require friends. Do something crazy. I went all the way to Margate on the train by myself to go see an art exhibition. And I ended up meeting a load of people there. They didn't even know me from TikTok. I just hit it off with them and started drinking with them. So, and I just spoke to them in the queue. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be alone the whole day, and I was okay with that. But I think that being okay with being alone can attract people. That when you're okay with being alone, people will go, "Oh, you're okay with being alone? That's interesting," and they gravitate towards you more. But when you're like not okay with being alone, I'm not, you know, people are gonna find you unhinged. They're not gonna want to socialize with you. They're not gonna want to stay in touch. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It's been an hour. I've really enjoyed talking to myself and other people, I assume, if this even gets any views at all. Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. The way that you can support me right now would probably be by I hate having to say it, buying a Cameo from me. Oh, yeah, and merch. So we've released some orphan merch. At the end of the day, it's not that funny orphan merch. T-shirts, mugs, and stuff like that. So you can grab that to support me. Also, yeah, grabbing a Cameo from me. That's not going to be there forever, by the way. I will stop doing cameos very soon. But we're in hopefully the last month of doing them. I like doing them. I've just done too many of them, but I don't mind doing them. But yeah, hey, Cameo, merch. You've already followed me on TikTok, I assume. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if this has popped up to you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and yeah, fuck off.